We are going to learn how to identify identities and contradictions and how to write equations.
Contradictions. Logical path. Something is wrong with this equation, and to understand what is wrong, let's look into two baskets which on scale and scale is on balance. Is it true or not? No, it's not possible. So we can say this situation with baskets contradict real life situations. This is why equation represented this situation is wrong and we would call contradiction.
Modeling example number 1. We have two baskets, and in one basket we have 3 apples, 2 red and 1 green. In second basket we have 5 apples, 2 red and 3 green ones. Question is, can these two baskets, if they are on scale, be in balance or not? Sure, they can't, because right basket is heavier. Now, if we place 2 red apples in first basket and 2 red apples in second basket by x, then we will have an equation. X and positive 1 green apple equal to x and positive 3 green apples. What do you think about this equation? This equation is wrong because this equation represents wrong situation. So it's not possible to have these two baskets on balance. This is why this situation is contradict to itself. This is what we would call contradictions. Now let's look into this equation from algebraic point of view. If we separate terms with x's and constant terms in order to solve, so positive 1x from the right to the left and positive 1 from the left to the right, we will have negative 1x and positive 1x equal positive 3 and negative 1. Now let's simplify, means combine like terms. Negative 1x and positive 1x, 0, positive 3 and negative 1 is positive 2. Look what happened. 0 equal positive 2. Is it true? No, it's not true. This is false. This is why we have to say this equation does not have solution. In our previous slide we show why. Because this equation represents wrong situation, which is not possible. This is why we call this contradictions. And when it doesn't have solution, we have to show this somehow. It will be curly parenthesis and x within curly parenthesis, and we have to show this O with the slash line, which means set is empty. That is not 0. It tells set is empty, no solutions. If we want to solve this equation, we have to separate terms with x and constant terms. Okay. X, positive 1x moving from the right to the left and positive 1 moving to the right. As a result, we will have negative 1x and positive 1x equal to negative 1. If we combine like terms, if we simplify, negative 1x and positive 1x is 0. Then we will have 0 equal negative 1, which is not true. This is false. This is why we have to say this equation does not have a solution, because it's contradictions, because it contradicts to real situation. And we have to show circle and slash line saying that this equation does not have solutions. Next example, we have an equation 3 times parenthesis positive 1x and positive 1 equal positive 5x, positive 7 and negative 2x. If you want to solve, first of all we have to simplify left side. We have to remove parentheses using distributive property. Positive 3 times x and positive 3 times positive 1. As a result, we will have positive 3x and positive 3 equal positive 5x, positive 7 and negative 2x. Now let's identify like terms and combine them. So positive 5x and negative 2x together, it will be positive 3x. Now we have positive 3x and positive 3 equal positive 3x and positive 7. We have to separate terms with x and constant terms and then simplify. Let's move positive 3x from the right to the left and positive 3 to the right. Every time when you are moving from one side to another, you have to change the sign. So now we have negative 3x and positive 3x equals positive 7 and negative 3. Positive 3x and negative 3x is 0. Positive 7 and negative 3 is just 4, which is not true. This is false. So we have to say no solution. This equation is contradiction. And somehow we have to show this statement that equation doesn't have a solution. We have to show circle and slash line. It's not 0. It tells set is empty. No solution. Next equation. Positive 2x and positive 1 and positive 4 equal 1 positive x and positive 1x and positive 5. First of all, let's simplify left and right side. So left side positive 1 and positive 4 it will be 5, and positive 1x and positive 1x, if we add it will be positive 2x. Now we have positive 2x and positive 5 on the left and positive 2x and positive 5 on the right. If we separate terms with x and constant terms, this is what we will have. Negative 2x and positive 2x on the left, positive 5 and negative 5 on the right. If you combine like terms, then we will have negative 2x and positive 2x 0, positive 5 and negative 5 is 0, which is true. How can we show the solution? The solution set is set of all real numbers. Very interesting situation. And we call this identities. How to show this? In curly parentheses you can show R, which stands for all real numbers, or on the real number line you can show graph from negative infinity practically to positive infinity, because solutions all real numbers. Now let's look why. Do you see this yellow part, yellow piece? And it tells you 2x and 5 on the left equal exactly the same, positive 2x and 5. So for instance, if x is 0, then 5 equals 5. If x is 1, then it will be 7 equals 7. If x is 5, then it will be 15 on the left and 15 on the right. If x is 100, then it will be 205 on the left and 205 on the right. So as you see, all values for x would be possible to use for this equation, and this is why we call this identity. So How many solutions? Infinitely many. All real numbers, their solution for this equation. An equation, as you remember, equation has two sides, left side and right side. Those two sides we call an expression, and sign equal. And now we are going to learn several rules how to translate English sentences into algebraic equations. Word is separates left and right side of equation. So word is practically represents symbol equal. Then step number 2, we have to write out the expression for the left side, and step number 3, we have to write out the expression for the right side. Here is example. Translate English sentence into algebraic equation. The difference between 20 and a number is 5. So what we have, word is. Word is separate two expression, left and right. And then on the left, whatever is color in green, this is for expression for the left. And 5 is just expression for the right. Now let's convert word is into symbol equal, and then difference between 20 and a number. Whenever you see word number, you have to mark as a variable x. So it will be positive 20 and negative 1x. And then right side is just a 5.
Solving word problems. Most word problems require equations. Let's talk about logical path for solving word problems. You have to read problem entirely. Get a feel for the whole problem. It's important to understand what the problem is asking, what exactly is the question you need to answer. After that, let's talk about first step, analysis. You have to pick a variable to stand for unknowns, clearly labeling these variables with what they stand for. After that, read the problem again in order to recognize quantities and the relations between them, between numerical values and variables. Look for keywords. After that, you will be ready to translate the word problems into equation with variables. And then you have to solve this problem. It's important to check your work as you go, and after you finish, you make sure you are getting the result that makes sense. And finally, you are ready to write the answer. But please remember, to really learn how to do word problems, you have to practice more and more and more and more.
Two angles are complementary if their sum is 90 degrees. If the measure of the first angle is x degrees and the measure of the second angle is 3x and negative 2 degrees, find the measure of each angle. First of all, what are we looking for? We are looking for the measure of angle number 1 and angle number 2. We don't know measure of angle number 1, we don't know measure of angle number 2. But what we do know that they are complementary angles. So their sum, if we add them together, is supposed to be 90 degrees. Analysis. We can mark as a first unknown measure of angle number 1 as a x. We don't know. And furthermore, it's in the problem. And measure of angle number 2 would be 3x and negative 2. It's in the problem. And together, measure of angle number 1 and measure of angle 2 is 90 degrees. Now we can write an equation. First angle, which is x, and then second angle, 3x and -2, equals 90. We can solve this equation, removing parentheses, combining like terms, and solving for x. So x is 23. Checking. We have to replace in our original equation x by 23 and check is left side equal to right side or not. Simple calculation tells you yes. Then we have to write out the answer. We have to answer the questions. Measure of angle number 1 is 23 degrees. But measure of angle number 2 would be 3 times 23 minus 2. Together it will be 67 degrees. "30 marbles are to be divided into 3 bags, so that second bag has 3 times as many marbles as the first bag, and the third bag has twice as many as the first bag. If x is the number of marbles in the first bag, find the number of marbles in each bag." So we are looking for number of marbles in the first bag, second bag, and third bag. Analysis. X is the number of marbles in the first bag. Okay, so now let's talk about second bag. As you see from the problem, second bag has 3 times as many marbles as the first bag. So it will be 3 times x or 3x. And third bag, look into problem and you will see that third bag has twice as many as the first bag. So it will be 2 times x. Now, together, what we have in first bag and second bag and third bag, it will be 30 marbles. Not more, not less, just 30 marbles. Step number 2. Now we can write out an equation. So first bag has x pieces, second bag has 3 times x or 3x pieces, and third bag has 2 times x or 2x pieces, and together it will be 30. Now we can solve an equation, and checking, we have to replace x in our original equation by 5. And we have to be sure that left side equal to right side. Simple algebra allows us to say yes. So now we can write the answer. First bag has 5 pieces because x is 5. Second bag has 15 pieces because 3 times 5 is 15. And third bag has 10 pieces because 2 times x, 2 times 5 is 10. A 10 feet board is cut into 2 pieces, so that one piece is 6 feet longer than 3 times the shorter piece. If the shorter piece is x feet long, find the length of the both pieces. So we are looking for length of the short piece, and we are looking for the length of the long piece. Analysis. What do we know? From this problem, it's clear that we have to mark length of the short piece as a x. Now, from the problem, we have to find the relations between short piece and long piece. What do you see? Long piece is 6 feet longer than 3 times the shorter piece. That is, long piece is 3 times x plus 6. And the total length of the board is 10. Now we're ready to write and solve an equation. Left side is length of the short piece and length of the long piece, and right side is the total length, 10. Solving this simple equation, we are getting x equal 1. Now we have to check, is it correct solution or not? Replacing x in our original equation by 1. Look into this simple statement and you will see this is correct. Now, last step, we have to write out the answer. Short piece would be
1 foot.
And long piece is 3 times 1 and plus 6 is 9 feet. A car rental agency advertised renting a luxury full-size car for $24.95 per day and 49 cents per mile. If you rent this car for 5 days, how many whole miles can you drive if you only have $200? Let's talk what we are looking for. We are looking for number of miles that you can drive if you have only $200. Analysis. Let's talk what do we know. We know that basic fee per day is $24.95 per day. And in addition, you have to pay 49 cents per mile. And we know that you're supposed to drive 5 days. So question is, how many miles you can drive during these 5 days if you have only and only $200? Now, next step, writing and solving an equation. 24.95 you have to multiply by 5 because 24.95 it's per day. So for 5 days you have to multiply by 5. And then plus 49 cents or 0.49 in dollars. You have to multiply by x, where x is number of miles. This is left side of equation, and $200 or just 200 is right side of equation. Now removing parentheses and solving this equation, we can find that x is 153 units. Checking. We have to replace x in our original equation by 153 and check is left side equal to right side or not. Use your calculator and you will see yes. Now, last step, we have to write the answer. 153 miles. So if you have $200 and if you have to drive 5 days on these conditions, you can drive total 153 miles.